Okay, so main concepts of this chapter. What are probably some of the most important points? Some of the most important points. Just guess. Sessile, that's important because sponges don't what? They don't move. They have spicules, so what type of structures, what type of system would that possibly be? So that means you need to know what a spicule actually does. It holds it upright, it has nothing to do with pores. Yeah, it's part of its skeleton, that's right. So what might another topic or concept be? They're filter feeders. So what type of structures are associated with that filter feeding? No, no, no. We said this yesterday. It moves up and down like this. It starts with the letter F. Yeah, it's a flagellum. That's right. Okay, so other important aspects, now think at the top. The osculum, that's right. Okay, so a lot of these concepts together are important that make these animals what they are. They don't move, they have an osculum, they're filter feeders, so they're porous, so they are in the phylum Porifera, that's right. Now, this protein, okay, known as collagen, that is very prevalent in the animal kingdom. We have collagen as well. Take a guess, where would we have collagen, do you think? Not the joints. So what's true about the joints then? It's not the bone tissue. If someone has their knee scoped, what are they doing? Yeah, they're removing scar tissue from cartilage in between the two parts of their bone there. That's right. Okay, so yes, the sponge physiology, we're talking about they are filter feeders. So as you can see, it travels through this canal system. So what we see happening is water and currents move through these dermal ostia, then into the ostia, and then eventually into the spongial seal, where these flagella are located. It grabs those food particles, and how are they digested? Starts with an I. Intracellularly, that's right. Okay. Is this not where we begin today? We gotta go back? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. This here, okay. Okay. Well, pick it up. You dropped it. Pick it up. Does everyone have this information that wants it? Okay. So again, these colar structures, it's just leads to a tube, okay? And inside that tube, you have all these flagellum. They're moving up and down like this because of the water currents. Then they grab that debris, so then it can bring it to be digested intracellular. I don't hear any music. Of course they do. So, are you really that in depth that you really, really want to go watch them? Well, when I ask this, well, then please speak up. Okay, what we can do, I'll just go ahead and proceed forward with this just like you were here. It's going to be your responsibility to go back and watch this. If you really, really want to go and see, and I think that's great. So you are setting yourself up saying, I want to go watch. Okay. Those of you who want to go ahead and finish. And that's fine. I think that's great if you want to go watch the band. You may go. And don't think if you're getting up to go out and watch that, oh, geez, he's going to be mad. No, no. The invitation was there. I just didn't know anyone was really wanting to go watch that bad. Okay. All right. Just two? All right. Okay, can we proceed forward? Okay. And we're past, do we have this information? Okay. Okay, we good? Okay. Haven't heard anything other than, okay. So I'll leave those other windows open so at least get a little airflow coming through here. So to me, like I said, the best way to look at this is this Kolar. Think of a cone, okay, like a road cone, or even kind of like an ice cream cone, where it comes down to what I want to say, a slender opening at the bottom, or at, but regardless, these road cones you see is probably the best example. So as that's going closer and closer to the spongial seal, what does it do as you go from the base of the cone to the top? What happens? It does what? Say that again? Yeah, it gets narrower, okay? So what we see happening then is these particles that are too large to enter there become trapped, okay? And what they do is they slide down the base because they're trapped on this flagella that then can be digested or phagocytized, which means brought inside the cell to then be digested intracellularly, okay? So again, to me, the best way to look at that is this colar is like a sleeve, kind of like a cone, that as it gets closer and closer towards the center, okay, of the sponge, the opening becomes smaller and smaller and then becomes trapped because it can't move any further. Then these water currents are going to travel through the spongial seal and then out the top, or the what? Osculum, that's right. Okay. Okay. As you we're really getting close to being done, so very good. So now, as we continue to proceed forward, okay, so again, we continue this sponge physiology. As you can see, it's all intracellular. So, to get cellular metabolism to take place, you're going to have nutrients and then oxygen. And of course, that is done by that simple process of diffusion. So as you're looking at this, of course, all life activities depend on the water current. Why would that be? True. Yeah, you're exactly right. So if there's no food in a certain spot, it's not like you can pick up and move and go to a spot where there would be more organic materials. But if there's no water flowing, there's going to be no debris in there to come in through that dermal ostia, get trapped in the molar or that tube-like structure, grabbed by the flagella to then be digested intracellularly. So these activities, they're depending upon that water currents. Now, if it's too strong, like we saw in that animal Armageddon, where, if you're a sponge, you can't pick up and move and go from point A to point B. You have to hunker down and hopefully you don't get obliterated by some of these water currents then. Okay, I think that's right. Yep. And as we continue to move forward in the animal kingdom, okay, we're going to see this process of monoecious, okay? That means these animals have both of the male and female sex cells, unlike dioecious, where you have a separate male and a separate female, which it has to be, again, because these animals can't pick up and move from point A to point B. Okay, so the rest of the time, excuse me, the rest of the time then is yours. You have a paper that's due tomorrow. Okay, we will begin to review then on Monday. Just need one day, and then we'll have your exam then on Tuesday. Because once we get to the mollusks, and for every exam past that, you have two-part exams. They're just too big to try to get that a fair evaluation done in one day. And what happens is, for instance, day one will be all just general questions and the vocabulary associated with that chapter. And then day two will be the diagrams along with essay questions where you write out the answer. So if you had to think of what essay question you will probably be asked for this chapter, what do you think? Not only just the phylum Porifera, but how do you tell the difference between these sponges? There's 3 different classes we talked about. Just guess. That's one. Cycanoids is 2, and leuconoids. So you want to know the difference between the complexity of all of them. So you're already ahead of the game, which is good. So we will pick up with you next time.